So you want to do that. And just know that you can grow and learn to be self-confident. It's not the end of the road simply because you feel like, well, I really can't do that. Or because you're shy, or because some feelings or emotions that come over you. You can overcome those things. And oftentimes when you feel that fear, if you have something that you want to do, that's probably a sign that you're going in the right direction when you do feel that fear. Because now you've got a target to move toward, to overcome when you go through that. And that's a part of conquering the fear and staying in God's Word. So that's a sign. That's a good sign. When you feel that fear or that apprehension about doing something that you know is going to move the envelope for you toward your goals, then go in that direction. And you're going to find that you're going to see much success as a result of that. So that is just, that's wonderful. That's just a wonderful thing. And so as we look at this self-confidence issue a little bit deeper, a lot of times it goes back to our childhood or a bad experience that we had, or simply some limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs are those things that we put on ourselves to limit ourselves. And there's actually no truth in those. There's some exercises, we don't have time to get into those today, to overcome those limiting beliefs that you may have about yourself. Don't limit yourself. Don't put God in a box and get in there with him. You know, we serve a big God, we serve an awesome God, and there are no limiting beliefs. You should have no limiting beliefs, but you do have to eliminate them. And I understand that some of these are difficult to overcome because they've been ingrained in you for so long. And so it is easier said than done, but it can be done. And there's some definite things that you'll want to do in order to address that. But the first thing is to get into God's Word and to believe what His Word says about it. Because overcoming these limiting beliefs and getting to a place where you are more confident comes from a lot of sources. And I mentioned earlier, it could come from your parents or relatives or friends talking negatively about you or about your gifts or about your ability to do certain things. A lot of times it comes from bullying in schools, you know. So, if kids and children had more confidence, the bullying would not have as much as an effect. You know, there's some challenges with bullying, and you want to deal with that, and there are ways to deal with that. But you want to be aware that that goes on, and that's why it's important to prepare your children to be self-confident, to be confident enough at least to come back and talk with you about situations that may be clouding their minds about things, because we don't want harmful things to happen to them as a result of what's going on in their world and in their minds. And having confidence and self-confidence in themselves, at least in some relationships, gives them the ability to at least step out and say something about it and do something about it to keep harmful things from happening to them. So one of the resource that I really have enjoyed reading and love is a book by Joyce Myers that she wrote a few years back called Battlefield of the Mind. And it was, for me, it was a game changer. And I look at that as just simply a game changing book, because it cuts right to the heart about how Satan tries to work on your mind, but also it equips you on what and how to deal with these attacks of Satan that he has on your mind. It's a wonderful book, and I would certainly recommend it to you. Now, let's take a few minutes, and I want to do a self-confidence assessment or a self-confidence test. And with these questions, I've got 15 questions that we're going to roll through, and the simple answer that I want you to give is yes, no, or sometimes. That's all you have to do. And I should have asked you to get a pencil and paper ready, because you can do these really on the fly, but you can watch the recording and then stop the questions, stop it to answer these, so that you can look at the 15 answers that you give to each one of these to help you to evaluate where you are in terms of self-confidence. And we'll also make the questions available to you in a download very soon on that. So shortly after the video is uploaded. So here we go. And let's start with these questions. And again, answer them yes, no, or sometimes. So here's question number 1. Are my thoughts and actions in harmony with my highest aspirations? Are my thoughts and actions in harmony with my highest aspirations? Yes, no, or sometimes. Am I absolutely clear? This is question number 2. Am I absolutely clear about what I believe to be right, good, and worthwhile? Yes, no, or sometimes. Question number 3. In a crisis situation, do I remain calm and self-assured? Yes, no, or sometimes. Number 4. Looking back over choices I have made in stressful circumstances, do I regret my actions? Yes, no, or sometimes. Number 5. Do I know what my goals are, and whenever possible, do I concentrate on one goal at a time until each goal is achieved? Yes, no, or sometimes. Number 6. Do I accept complete responsibility for myself and everything that happens to me? That's a big one, as all of them are. And that question is, do I accept complete responsibility for myself and everything that happens to me? Yes, no, or sometimes. Question number 7. Am I doing what I love to do? Yes, no, or sometimes. Number 8. Do I set a goal? No, I'm sorry. When I set a goal, do I set a challenging deadline for its completion? Yes, no, or sometimes. Question number 9. Do I feel I am in the right job or in the right business? Yes, no, or sometimes. Question number 10. Do I know what my values are and have written them down? It's another very big one. Yes, no, or sometimes. Question number 11. Do I organize my list of values according to their priorities in my life? Yes, no, or sometimes. Number 12. Will I walk away from a relationship even if considerable sacrifice is involved, when I know it's the right thing to do? Yes, no, or sometimes. Number 13. Do I know what my limitations are? When a coworker is rude to me, am I upset for hours? Yes, no, or sometimes. And finally, number 15, when I am in control of my emotions, do I choose to be happy? Yes, no, or sometimes. And in answering these questions, what you want to look at is the yeses, look at the nos, and also look at the sometimes. Now, if you've got all sometimes over there, then you really need to evaluate those if you've got a lot of sometimes. And evaluate why is it that you have sometimes, because some of those answers should be very clear and they should be very precise. Even if it's yes or no, you need to be precise on those so that you'll know in which direction to move when you evaluate what's going on with you around each one of those questions. So take that test again. If you were not able to go through as we were doing it here in real time, but it's a very valuable question, and again, we'll make those questions available to you.